Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. One more thing I wanted to add before we get started here is that I will pick up on the energies of the cards based on the surrounding cards. And the meanings will come through differently every time based on the other cards that are there in the reading. And I get asked this a lot, like how come the meaning of the card is changing? Because the surrounding cards are changing. And I will periodically explain to you why I say what I say, because of the energies of the cards that are there in the reading at that point in time. And I also give you references to the energies that I picked up on the prior cards, and that will affect the meaning of the cards that come after that. So I just wanted to put it out there so that you're mindful of which cards are paired up in the reading. Now, let's get to it. So before we get started, I just wanted to apologize for my absence from this channel. There was a lot of reconstructive work going on inside the house and was happening right outside the room where I make these videos, where my team comes together. There was a lot of noise and disturbance outside this room, so we really could not work. We could not do it the way that we normally do. So I apologize for my extended absence. Now the constructive things are completed and I can sit in this room, I can create videos, I can meet with my team as well. So thank you for being patient, and yeah, we are back in business, and we're going to create more videos just the way we wanted for this channel. And we really thank you for your patience and appreciate your support. So the first card you have, Libra, today is number 19, and it says strength. Further, it says tunnel. And of course, there are funnel, bulbs, and the plant in the picture. There is a sword. Sword stands for clarity for the most part, cutting through things that are not working for you, that are not serving you. There is also a life for the Scorpio. So there is water energy at play, something. 8,000 energy, which is deep, which is water is all about intuition, a deeper knowing. Also, not being afraid to get to the depth of matters. Now, let's take a closer look, Libra, how this would apply for you, because you are 7,000 energy, you're the air sign. Air sign is more about, communication, mental clarity, understanding things, creating plans, and things like that. Now, if you look at the funnel plant in the picture, it's green. Of course, green stands for harmony. And it looks very feathery. It has those thin, yellowish kind of flowers, which are hard to see in the picture. But for those of you that have seen funnel plants, know that there are yellow cute flowers. There is a big base, which is like a bulb. So tunnels, in the olden days were used to purify the air. It was also used to, keep negative energies, evil spirits at bay and out of the house. So mainly for protective reasons and for purification. And that's exactly what this plant also stands for. Below it says here, resilience, purification, and enduring power, which is your resilience, your strength, but in a gentle way, not out of force. Further down it says here, you have the power to digest life's challenges, clear away what clouds your vision, and stand tall in your truth. Your strength is not about force, it is about resilience and purity of purpose. And that's exactly what I just said. So standing your ground comes through with this, Libra, and especially, when people are being difficult, get diplomatic with them, but don't lose your integrity and grace. It's not about shouting or screaming or, being forceful with your ideas and your opinions or what you want. It's just about being graceful with your communication style. this is also about having the strength to, how to process day-to-day challenges without getting overwhelmed. How do you digest those experiences that are not so pleasant without letting them disturb your peace of mind or your inner peace? So in those cases, you need to have that inner strength, that resilience, that inner force, that brute force, that not about being harsh on the outside, but having that strength to lean on your, on your principles. What will you stand for? What will you allow and what you will not deal with? It's making those kind of decisions, those kind of shots, right? Then we have to do that in our day-to-day lives because we meet people that have different ideologies. They come from different backgrounds with different principles. So how do you put your point across? So for that reason, you need to first stay calm. You need to have that clear vision, right? Especially when, things become conflicting or chaotic around us. We need to have that clear mind as to what do we want? How do we get out of this? And how do we put our point across? Being flexible is one way to do it. Like, don't be too rigid, especially when, there are small things that should not really matter to us, that don't disturb our outcome, that don't overwhelm us. So being flexibility is one way. Also being clear about why are you in that situation? What did you want from it in the first place? And what is going to come out of it? Like if you, say something which is harsh, is that going to help the situation in any way? So the better way is that how do you create the balance if things start to tip over on one side and get unbalanced? How do you create that balance? Sometimes creating balance doesn't mean that you disturb your peace or you put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Sometimes it's just making an uncomfortable decision. Sometimes, we don't have to say yes to things that disturb our peace of mind. Saying no also is a way to create the peace, especially for the long run, especially when it comes to people and their expectations. But saying no doesn't mean that you get into, a mindset of avoiding or escaping a certain situation. Harmony does not mean creating harmony for yourself doesn't mean you avoid with putting in the work. So that's one thing that you have to be careful about. Now what this whole thing, means is, for example, in a day-to-day, if you are already partnered up with somebody, if you're married or something like that, or in a living situation, or any kind of partnership, and you are taking care of maybe 80 to 90% of the household work. Now, what this channel energy is asking you to do is to still stay calm. Even if you're doing 80%, you're pulling the weight, stay calm. The better way to shift and tip the scales is to have that care conversation so that you're able to reestablish a balance in how the household chores are done. When you stay calm, the one thing you're doing is avoiding stress in the relationship, avoiding any kind of screaming, shouting, fights, conflicts, and resentments, right? So you have cleared that situation. That's when the channel energy comes in. But the other thing is that you need to be very clear in your mind as to how you would divide the household chores. So clear thought, what your body is capable of, how much can you stretch yourself thin without breaking, without feeling the resentment, is something that you should be very clear in your head while you're negotiating and you're talking through how the household chores would be distributed, right? So be diplomatic in your words, don't use harsh words, and at the same time, be very clear as to what you can handle. How much would you be able to do with the time constraints, the energy constraints that you have? So clarity of mind while you're having this discussion would be equally important for you, in order to see good results for the long term. And then whatever you decide, you stick to your decision. That will give you that stability in your head that, yeah, this is your chore, and you will be able to get through your day with these kind of chores. Something like that. It doesn't just have to be this. No, some of you could be in actually this kind of situation at your workplace as well. So in that case, also keeping peace and being diplomatic is going to come in very handy for you, especially when you're negotiating with people. For some of you, you might be working in positions where you are the mediator, or you're in management positions where you have to mediate and negotiate with teams, with people on a lot of different issues. So in that case, you have to be very clear with your communication and be very patient so that you're able to help people find that middle ground, where people can meet in the middle, where everything is fair and square and nobody feels resentment or angry, So to come to a fair agreement, you have to keep your wits about yourself. So now fennel as an herb also can be used for a lot of stomach ailments. It helps you to digest. It helps you in digestion on a regular basis. It helps you to settle the stomach in case you've eaten something that's putting you out of fat. It also helps with that, Or in general will help you digest the things that people say, Sometimes people get a little bit tricky to deal with, and this fennel seed will help you kind of soothe those emotions down. Now, there's a lot of material out there that can help you grasp on how people handle these situations. Because I'm a movie person, I can give you an example of a movie which will give you more insights into how people gather their strength, have that clarity, and how powerful communication will actually help you. For those of you that are interested, you can watch the movie. That is the movie. The name is Erin Brockovich, and I can tell you for sure because I'm passionate about movies myself. I'll watch a lot of movies myself, and I can help you, with material that you can watch and get inspired. So, watch Erin Brockovich for those of you that are interested, and that movie will actually tell you how you can apply your inner strength, not in a physical way, but through good resilience and, to bring about balance and justice, especially in your workplace. So if you watch that movie, you will get that inspiration from her. Now, for those of you that are interested in taking this a notch up a little bit further, you can watch recent news about the International Court of Justice, how they solve complex cases, how they have the strength, to deal with international law, and how they are able to find balanced resolutions, through clear talk and even between nations. So if you're interested in understanding how this energy plays out on a global level, you can watch some news about the International Court of Justice. I've read recent articles, and I was really intrigued about how this kind of energy of fairness and justice plays out, even at a global level. There's another news that I was reading about, UK's advertising, how their authority, they have a very nice advertising standards authority that actually that puts their foot down when it comes to misleading advertisements. It could be from any company, and how they apply their authority to keep any deceptive information away from public space. So it's a very good way of how the strength, resilience, and fennel energy is actually playing out globally. So you can watch that as well to get more information on how this energy plays out at a global level. It's very interesting that about this fennel. I was watching a video of a gardener, how he was training this fennel plant to grow up a trellis, and he was using his strength, his inner strength, to guide this plant to grow up a trellis. And you can do that. You can guide plants, you can guide pets. You just need that resilience. So for those of you who are looking for strength, bring in this fennel energy, and you will be able to, guide plants and pets to be more to follow the rules, like training pets and things like that. For those of you in those areas, can also apply this fennel, bring in some fennel energy, fennel seeds and herbs, and you can tap into that energy, especially if you're working in those areas. I'm also getting an energy of some people, I'm getting someone who is having the strength to, bring in some signatures from their community to pass a bylaw, something that will help the residents, something, because something like, people use those noise pollutants or leaf blowers at night, and that's really disturbing. Or they do noisy, to create a lot of noise, especially after, 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. at the max should be the time when these kind of devices should be used. So I do pick up an energy where someone is out there picking and, getting everybody to sign on documents so that some bylaws for the community people can be passed as well. Now, some of you might be in the home inspection is also where I'm picking up. Some of you might be kind of finding the flaws in property, especially if you're selling properties or buying properties, or you're into inspection. You might be finding some faults in the property so that you're able to give clear directions to the buyers and sellers, so that you can avoid some kind of bad deals, or you can negotiate some kind of fixes in the house, or negotiate some kind of fair price to get those items fixed. Or if there is some problem, you can negotiate a fairer price to compensate for those faults in the house. So I do pick up that energy for some of you as well. I'm also picking up I'm also picking up on the energy of a referee, It's very hard to make those decisions. And I do feel that, the referee sometimes gets under a lot of pressure from, the people, the players, the teams, the fans, and everybody, But I do see that some of you are in the sports area and you are trying to make those difficult decisions at that very moment, But I feel that if you stick to the rules and if you're able to understand the rules very clearly, you will be able to make good decisions based on the rules that are already defined. So if you are stuck in such a situation, just go refer to the rules again and you will be able to make good judgments. So I do pick up on an energy where people are also getting, some of you might be out there. I'm also getting an energy of being out there and, it's funny how I pick up like this energy on sending back, meals that are poorly prepared in the restaurant. I do pick up an energy that, some of you are turning down meals or returning it back, especially if they're badly prepared or you found something awkward in the meal, you're returning it back instead of just, compromising and eating that thing that you feel has been poorly prepared. Is also something that I'm picking up. I also feel that some of you are out there, purifying the space in the sense that clearing out the junk, making space in the kitchen and in the garage or in your backyard, just cleaning it up. That'll give you a lot of mental respite. And it actually does give a lot of mental respite. The thing about this energy here, Libra, is that, once we have that mental clarity, it keeps us less burdened, especially when people put demands and we know how to tackle those demands. It frees up a lot of space mentally and physically. Not only that, it gives you a lot of self-respect, because now you're respecting your time, your energy, your boundary, your space, and you feel confident in your own personal authority and in your way that you're able to handle these kind of tricky situations, right? I mean, it gives you confidence that you're able to handle those difficult conversations. So that brings a feeling of, authority, your personal authority elevates, you feel calm. You feel that your energy is invested into the right places, right situations, into the right people. Now, also, when you have these strong boundaries and you know how to handle every people that you interact with, every relationship feels more authentic. It feels more balanced, because now you don't have to live in, superficiality. You don't have to say yes to things that you don't want to do. You don't have to say yes to meetups that you don't want to be in. so you can be more authentic with your relationships, and people know for who you are, that you will do things that sit well with you. You know, they start to recognize you as a person who's fair and square, who deals with situations in a fair manner, who's able to solve problems in a diplomatic way. So that way people start to recognize your talents. And these are talents that are not spoken about, but they're highly valued, you know, especially when you're being decisive. You know, you're able to make decisions decisively and being fair all the way. People really consider, you know, they recognize this capability, this talent of yours. The next card you have, Libra, is the Eros card. And if you see below, there is a cute little heart, just like the cute little Cupid. Eros is nothing but baby Cupid, right? The known god of love, of desires. He has wings, holds a bow and arrow, just like the bow and arrow is shown over here in the heart, if you didn't see down on the picture. Very youthful energy, right? Very playful, very magnetic. It further says here, a powerful magnetic force of attraction is at play. This is more than romance. It is about connecting to what you truly love and desire in life and having the courage to pursue it. So exactly, that's what this is about. You know, yeah, some of you will experience those, strong attraction to people. It could be at any moment. It could be sudden. This could be not just attraction to people. You could be interested in some ideas, some projects, buying furniture. Like, you know, we see those Instagram pictures that are so beautifully staged, the homes. They look so creative. They look so warm. You might be drawn towards, those kind of images, buying those kind of furniture, buying those kind of decoration items or clothes even. That's the Eros energy at play for most of us. But outside of that, there is like a renewed interest in things. You feel very energetic. You feel passionate about things or projects, or, in general, just enjoying, having fun, being playful, excited towards things, not the lackadaisical approach. So this is also a time, I mean, for you, Libra, you're the seventh house. You know, seventh house is in general the house of partnerships, of beauty, of harmony, of connections, of creativity, are ruled by Venus. So those, creations, performances, performance arts, creative arts is something that will come naturally to you. But I feel that this is like an extra dose of energy, extra boost that will actually keep you, fired up on things. So I do feel that, this energy will bring to you, sorry about that. What? This energy will bring towards you those people that, whose company you will enjoy. Right? And there will be, you might be meeting up with new people. Sorry about that noise. Okay, so what I was saying is, yeah, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity, and the energy is favoring new connections. You might be meeting new people, but the caveat is that you need to keep yourself grounded. I mean, even if you meet new people that spark an interest, make sure that things stay balanced, because if you plan to go ahead, if you have plans of partnerships, make sure everybody, there is respect, there is balance, there is harmony, there is a strong foundation before you jump with both feet. So even though you might feel that, strong in St. Paul, and while there is no harm to explore connections, don't get swept up is the caution with this, right? Don't ignore the red flags. I mean, especially if you have like, different value systems, different values, different values, different goals in life. Don't overrule that. Don't ignore that, because when Eros, the arrow of Eros strikes, if the attraction, the pull is so strong, and sometimes you get pulled and carried away. When you allow your emotions to get the better of you, it leads to partnerships that are not healthy or are unbalanced, that way. It's that kind of a thing. So be mindful of that. While and there are certain elements of this energy that will, excite you, like for example, if somebody invites you or you have just an invitation, somebody randomly says, oh, let's go for a happy hour, let's go for a dinner or something like that. And it's okay, it's okay to make space. I mean, even if you have a busy packed day or a week, it's okay to make that time to accommodate those requests, from people that you love, adore, or have newly met. You want to spend some time, get to know them. It's okay to make space in the week for them. That's how this Eros energy will play out in your lives. When you're willing to make that space, despite of a packed week. Now, we all know that Cupid has this bow and arrow, and Cupid is actually related to the Sagittarius energy, the constellation of Sagittarius. And the arrow that this, the Cupid shoots is actually, if you see the Sagittarius energy, 9th house, it's the house of higher learning, truth, adventure, ruled by Jupiter. Higher values, higher principles. This Cupid also will spark a desire for those things in you, where you want to seek the higher truth. What's your higher values, higher morals, higher principles, a love towards that, an inclination towards that, an inclinations towards higher learning. You'll be inspired by some subjects that you want to learn, want to pursue. You feel strongly drawn to some course, some college, university. You want to go study this, that, and the third, and even adventure, because we learn a lot through travel and adventure, or adventurous subjects. Now, you don't have to take a flight to go on an adventurous trip. You could be, half an hour, 30 minutes away from your place and exploring a restaurant, a place, a trail, a hike or bike or something new around your place. So that spark of adventure, of exploration will be a little bit more in the days to come, in the next few days. Some of you will, get creative, more creative. If you're already creative, you will have some ideas. If you had hit that a writer's block or, not getting any ideas, you will get motivated, you will get inspired, you will maybe come up with, unique ideas to paint, to write or something like that. And maybe things that you are fearing, like, this is not gonna work and, it's not gonna be accepted. I feel you will have the courage to, get into those things, to do those things. The only, now with Libra, especially for you, you're the air sign. Eros energy is about speaking those things out, saying it, communicate it to people. Share your ideas, do it with love. Whether it's coming together in partnerships, in personal partnerships, say it out. What exactly is your goal? What do you want from the partnership? These are things that need to be discussed beforehand before you commit to anyone or anything. You need to identify your strengths, your weaknesses, your boundaries, your limitations. You need to assess that. As an air sign, you need to put your mind to use and communicate it clearly. And using the best way of communication, right? You need to express it in a very authentic, genuine, loving way. Whatever your desire is, not in a questionable way. Be dignified about when you communicate and converse, right? So these are how the Eros energy will play out. And in a lot of other ways. If it's not in your life, it could be somewhere around you, I've seen like, people, when they want to send a proposal to their partners, they do it in very romantic ways. They do it in style. We've seen commonly that there are skywriters, and they display those messages in the sky. So that's a little over the top gesture, I feel, but that's what this Eros does. It's just a touch of Eros energy. Some of you might be, like if for those of you that I'm also picking up an energy of house hunters, especially for those of you that are going to buy homes. Be careful because sometimes, the home looks very, enticing. So, and you fall immediately in love with it. And you are immediately, contact the owner or the salesperson, whatever it is, you want to put an offer immediately. And sometimes people even overpay, and then the asking price because now you're feeling strongly connected and, to the property. You feel that strong attraction or that strong connection to the property and you will do anything to get the property. But see, here's a difference between seeing something and actually living in it. So when that's what happens with the Eros energy. It will just, blur your vision. You will put on those rose tints. The next card you have, Libra, is the Two of Staves. This is fire energy. Two of Staves is like the Two of Wands. This is fire energy. There's also, and we'll come to that, this card is a mix of fire energy as well as the air energy. I will get to that in a second. But first, let's look at the image. Let's understand what this picture is all about. This Two of Staves is more about growth, expansion. So this person is sitting out here on this bench, or it's a comfortable bench, and she's looking forward. She's looking to the horizon. She's looking at the mountains that there are. She's looking at the expansive landscape. And where she's sitting is a very lush, luxurious place. So she feels stable in the environment where she is. So I do feel that this energy for you, Libra, right now is more about planning, looking forward. She's looking forward. She's thinking something. She's ready because she's feeling stable where she is. Now she wants a little bit more. So she's ready for that next level of growth or next big thing, or could be big or small. It doesn't have to be big, but it's like you're comfortable where you are, but now you want to explore more. You want to try more things, either in the learning sphere, you want to learn something, or you want to create something. You want to, go somewhere. Maybe you want to travel. Maybe you have worked hard. You have the finances now you want to travel for. So now, and for those of you travel enthusiasts, you're going to plan out that travel. You're going to book the places, hotels, how you're going to get there and things like that. So some of you might be in that energy of planning for travel. Others of you are probably, looking at your next 2-year plans or 5-year plans or 10-year plans, whatever that is for you, because you feel more grounded in your routines. You feel like, okay, I got what my current responsibilities are taken care of. I will take care of. I have the bandwidth, the energy, but I have an hour or two where I can invest in something else. I can try on maybe if you're in the business, if you're having a business of some sort, whether it's, you're self-employed, you have a business at home or outside, maybe you have some future ambitions. You want to open up another store, or add another product, whatever that is for you, but something with a long-term view. You want to explore something, try something. Maybe you're already doing that. Maybe you're talking to people. Maybe you're trying to make some decisions. You're trying to select the vendors, But this is like you're feeling happy. You're feeling excited about this change. You're feeling it's not forced. This change is not forced on you. This Two of Wands energy is like you want to do it. It's, you might feel it, or, it's going to be such a long time before I do that goal. But then here, you have to plan it. You have to take one step at a time. It's like the captain, the captain, he kind of charts his way, how he's going to go before, he sets sail into the water. So you right now, Libra, is that captain. You are that captain of your journey. So I do feel that you are, you're trying to work something out. but not in a chaotic way, in a well-balanced way. It's not that it's adding pressure onto you. You're fine where you are. But it's just that you want to build a little bit more, whether it's building your business or add on new projects or products, like I already said, and you want to grow far and wide. You want to have go online, you want to have a global reach or do something that adds value back to the society. Now you probably are on your way to doing that. And for those of you who are just planning it and you feel like you're stuck because you're analyzing things way too much, this is your green light to go for it. Make the choice. And every nook and detail cannot be worked out initially. You just have to learn and fix and refine and things like that. So not everything will be perfect from the get-go. And that is okay. And some of you might be planning to shift and relocate to a different city for work purpose. Maybe you're getting a job that pays you well, or it's a promotion or something like that. So don't be overwhelmed thinking how it's going to go, especially if you have a family and kids. How your kids going to react? How are they going to settle in and things like that? You might be in that kind of analysis paralysis. Just be mindful that if you get too stuck in the energy of thinking too much, planning too much, and planning out every nook and detail, you might end up missing opportunities. So see the broader picture and see that little details can be ironed out later. So go for it if you think it's for the betterment of you and your family. So the fire element, which is associated with the Two of Stars, will give you that passion and energy that you need to move forward. We need that inner drive, that willpower, and this fire energy associated with this will give you that fire in your belly to go pursue whatever whatever you want to do, wherever you want to grow. And the air element that's associated with it is all about strategy, planning it out, have a plan. I'm not saying work out every kink of it, but at least you need to have a well thought out strategy, a fallback plan, even plan A, plan B kind of a thing. Now, if these energies are playing out in your life personally, it could be somewhere around you, maybe in the lives of the people that you're surrounded with, or maybe your place of work, or maybe you hear in the news as well. It's like, I was recently reading about universities that have, plans for growth and development. They're expanding their campuses, they're expanding their programs that they're adding to the curriculum and things like that. So the universities also have to plan for the future. So I do feel that this energy is playing out globally in these different ways as well. I also feel that some of you might be, I feel that like moving to a bigger space expansion in terms of your real estate, right? Whether you're buying a bigger land or you're buying a bigger house, selling off your old smaller house or something like that. I do see an expansion in your real estate or your home expansion. Either you're adding your family. There's a new member addition to your family, maybe not in your immediate family, but somewhere in your extended family. Maybe somebody got married, a new person got added, or a new baby got added to the house. So that could be an expansion as well. And now I've also heard of a lot of fashion houses that are also growing. They are expanding into different cities, different countries, because of the brand appeal and things like that. They're having exhibitions and they're just expanding, creative horizons. They're looking into new creative horizons, new shores, and they're trying to grow. I have read that in the recent news as well. So that's something that strikes me with this energy. I'm also getting that some of you can tap into the energy and become planners, It's like, wedding planners and event planners or decorators and organizers and collaborators or liaisons where you can actually, allocate resources, gather resources, and work things out for people. So some of you could be entering into that or expanding in those areas as well. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.